I know some of you struggle with getting your audience really engaged and hooked for the entire time of your presentation. And that's why I'm here today to share with you some basic tips on how to get your audience engaged. I am Lady Winnie, a communications expert, a public speaker, and a trainer, and I enjoy what I do. Are you ready? Let's get right into it. One of the ways to get your audience hooked or engaged is by using stories. All right. So first on my list, stories. Stories. Now, why stories? If you are listening to great speakers like Oprah Winfrey, mostly she starts her presentations with stories like when I was a little girl living with my mama and blah blah blah. And this, it gets you really hooked because you want to know exactly what she's talking about. You want to know how the story will end. You want to know what the story entails, and you pay really, really attention. So that's how she starts her presentations most of the times. And it gets you really hooked because you want to know exactly what the story is about. All right. So it's a great technique when you want to really get your audience engaged, really, really engaged. You start with stories. Okay. So last night I was walking on the street. I decided to pick a stroll. And then I realized that there was this guy following me and I was feeling so, so, so scared. Hey, my God, I didn't know what to do. See, I'll explain. You want to know what the story is about? Nothing happened. Okay, so my way of getting you hooked. Exactly what I'm talking about. So stories are a great way to get your audience really, really engaged. You understand, right? All right, so second tip on how to get your audience really engaged is by audience interaction. Okay, let me write it. So you put it audience interaction. All right, so audience interaction is a very nice way or a nice technique on how to get your audience really hooked and engaged throughout your presentation. Okay, so you can ask questions like, how many of you brushed your teeth this morning? Or do you know I can introduce you to a business that can make you earn like $100,000 in a day? Now you get people who are like, oh wow, really? I can earn $100,000 in a day. Wow, that's so interesting. And they get to really you get into their heads, you get into their minds, they get to pay attention because they really want to know how they can get to earn $100,000 in a day with that business you want to introduce to them. All right. So audience interactions. If you ask random questions, you get some of them raising their hands, okay, showing that yeah, they are really following you. Even if they don't raise their hand, you get some of them nodding, all right, some of them showing a gesture, all right. That tells you that they are hooked and they are really paying attention. Another way of going about with the audience interaction is by getting the people really involved, aside asking questions to get their reaction, is by getting them involved. Like, sometimes some presenters or some public speakers will go like, can I have two people with me? Okay, can I have two gentlemen? Can I have two ladies? That's a way of getting them involved. That's audience interaction. Do you understand? So don't just do your presentations and standing and talking and not engaging your audience. They'll sleep on you. And it's going to be a boring presentation. And at the end of the day, you wouldn't make any impact. They will not remember you for anything. You just came to talk. It passed through this year, past year, is gone. All right. So audience interaction is a really nice way and a great technique on how to engage your audience. Understood? All right. So lastly, the last technique I want to share with you on how to engage your audience is by using exhibits or props. Okay. So do we exhibit or props? Now, what are exhibits or props? Exhibits or props are objects, okay, that you bring along during your presentation to aid your presentation or to help with some kind of explanation you want to do. All right. So, for example, okay, let me use this. All right. So, I can use this as my exhibit or props. All right. It's a mirror. Okay. I don't want it to reflect in the video. Okay. So, I'm going to handle it this way. All right, so this could be used as my exhibit or props to aid my presentation on whatever it is I'm talking about. Now, one of the things you need to look out for when you're using your exhibits or your props is not to have it in your face during your presentation, or you want to, when you're talking about it, okay, it needs to be on your side, all right? It doesn't need to be on your face so that you can really explain whatever it is you want to use it for. Secondly, You shouldn't have your exhibit with you during your presentation when you are not yet ready to use your exhibit. I don't know if you understand what I mean. So during your presentation, don't let your exhibit be anywhere around you. Either that it gets distractive, it distracts your audience. Okay. Now they get to ask, okay, so when is she going to take the mirror? What is she going to use it for? And all of those things. Okay, you need to have it so far away from you. You only bring it into your presentation or into view only when you are ready to use your props or your exhibits. Do you understand? Right. So that'll be all for today's class. I hope you've learned a thing or two. Please follow me so that anytime I upload new videos, you'll be able to follow through. Thank you so much for sticking with me. I'll see you soon in my next class. Until then, get good, get better, and be the, say it with me, be the best.